Hey, I'm here. If you're here, I'm here. Anyone watching online? Hi, I'm here. Say in the comments, let me know. But I wonder this morning, although we are physically here or here on our sofa watching online, I don't know what the crazy noise is, we've been having it all day. We often are here physically, but not really here when we say we are here. So lots of you said, I'm here to me this morning. But unfortunately, some of you won't be here for long. You might stay here with us in the building, but your mind might start to wander to the roast dinner you've got cooking. Did you press the timer? To the to-do list for this afternoon, the IKEA trip or wherever you're off to, B&Q. You might get a text in a second on your phone and that might distract you. Or even worse, you might send a text whilst I'm talking. Come on, people. You might leave the reality of here and now to check your Instagram feed because you don't know what has happened in the world during the last 2 minutes whilst I've been talking, and it's best to keep on top of it. And I say all of this not because I'm trying to emphasize this morning how good my preaching is and so we should all concentrate and listen, but because today we're talking about how it's important we live lives that are truly present in the moment, that we're truly here when we say we are here. To live lives that are purposeful and intentional and have meaning, we can't walk around distracted all the time, wishing away moments or missing them because we wish we were somewhere else. And we're doing this series at the minute. It's called A Better Way, and it focuses not just on the words that Jesus said, but actually looking at the way Jesus lived, the way he lived. Was it a better way? And you know, as Christians, we believe that. We believe the way Jesus lived was the better way, the best way. And one of the things that Jesus did was he was present in the moments. He noticed people. He noticed things. He wasn't a daydreamer. He wasn't his head in the clouds. He wasn't always checking his phone. He was present in the moments with people. And if we're followers of Jesus, we want to be living the kind of life Jesus lives. We want to be imitating the rhythm and the walk that Jesus had. And we looked last week at busyness and how Jesus never ran. Thank you, Lord. See? Where's Sarah Morgan? Jesus never ran. Honestly, people, I'm telling you. That's why I never run, you see. Close to Jesus. He never rushed. When Jesus' friend Lazarus was dying, Jesus didn't drop everything and run. He took his time. The stories we looked at last week, when Jesus was busy on his way to heal Jairus' daughter and a woman reached out and touched him, he stopped. He made time. He wasn't in a rush. He noticed the little things. He noticed in a crowd that someone had touched him, that power had gone out from him, because he was truly present in the moment. He was truly present with people. He had undivided attention and focus. He listened to people rather than just nodding, smiling, throwing in the occasional affirmation with no real clue what they're on about. Or is that just me at home with the kids like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, well, what? Why have you coloured on the wall? You said it was okay, Mum. No. But on New Year's Eve, we stayed with some friends, a family, and there was another family also around on New Year's Eve, and we were chatting and talking. And we said, oh, how about we go on a New Year's Day walk? That's the thing to do, isn't it? And we leaned over and said to my friend Hannah, do you guys and your family want to come on a New Year's Day walk? She went, nah, no. So the next day, the rest of us got up and we went out on our walk. And there were photos at the end of the day of it on social media. We all got muddy. We had a nice time. That night, my friend Hannah texted me. She was like, I would have gone on a walk with you guys if you invited. Like, my kids would have really enjoyed that. And I was like, Han, we literally asked you and you said no. She was like, oh, I must have been distracted. So we weren't drinking. She wasn't on her phone. She was there in the room with us, but she just didn't listen to what we were saying. And she said, no, I don't want to go. And then the next day, upset. But so often in our everyday, we are not here when we say we are here. It's not just our phones that can distract us, it's our minds. Our mind goes somewhere other than where we are meant to be, and we miss the important moments. We miss the God-ordained moments in our everyday. But when Jesus walked, he was present. He wasn't distracted. He made time. So we're going to look this morning at a journey Jesus went on, and it was a journey to Jerusalem. I don't think all the verses are there, and it's quite long. So if you do have a Bible and you want to join, but if you don't, I'll just read. It's Luke 18, verse 31. I'll be going through this and going over into the next chapter, Luke 19. In case you didn't know, when the Bible was written, the numbers weren't there, the chapters aren't there. It's okay. You can go over the line. You can read between the chapters. The stories actually join together. Some people don't know that, so I'm just throwing it in there. So Luke chapter 18, Jesus took the 12 aside, that means his 12 disciples, and he told them, we are going to Jerusalem. So where are they going? Exactly. Everything that is written by the prophets about the Son of Man will be fulfilled. He'll be delivered to the Gentiles. They will mock him, insult him, and spit on him. They will flog him and kill him. And on the third day, he will rise again. And then this is pretty standard, verse 34. The disciples did not understand any of this. The meaning was hidden from them. They didn't know what Jesus was talking about. Most of the Bible is just filled with the disciples like, what? Don't know what you're talking about. So they didn't understand Jesus. But anyway, as Jesus approached Jericho, so where was he going again? Jerusalem. So he's not there yet. He's just in Jericho. He's on his way. A blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard the crowd going by, he asked what was happening. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. He called out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Those around who led the way rebuked him and told him, be quiet. But he shouted all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. So Jesus is on his journey. He's not there. He's not at his destination. He's still on the way. He's in Jericho, on his way to Jerusalem. And Jesus, there's a man begging at the side of the road. And if that was me, I think I would probably be not walking, first of all, on the journey or in any form of public transport. But Jesus was taking the slow route. He was walking. And then he makes time to stop for a beggar. So Jesus stopped and he ordered the man to be brought to him. When he came near, Jesus said, what do you want me to do for you? Lord, I want to see, he replied. Jesus said to him, receive your sight, your faith has healed you. So the man received his sight, followed Jesus, praising God. And when the people saw it, they also praised God. So Jesus was present enough in the moment and not too busy to make time on his journey to stop, to do a miracle, and to notice a beggar and a blind man at that. And many of us, when we're out about in town, we might see a homeless person, someone that looks like a beggar. We might see them and just pass them by on our journey. We're too busy, or our head's down on our phone, or we haven't got the energy to make time for that person. But Jesus, he made the time on his journey. Even though he wasn't at his destination, he stopped and he healed the man. Next, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. So he's still not there, he's still passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he couldn't see over the crowd. I hear you, Zacchaeus, problems in life. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. So Jesus is still on his journey. He's going to Jerusalem, but he's still passing through the places that he's walking through on his journey. Yet now he makes time to notice somebody up a tree. Now, I'm the type of person who would walk into a lamppost or a tree, but he doesn't walk into the tree. He looks up into the tree and sees a very small man. So the man was small, hard to see. He's up a tree, weird. Nobody does that. But Jesus knows he's there. He stops, he notices him, he makes time, and he goes and stays at his house. Now, me and Marcus are both often quite distracted, so I don't know why I'm the one talking about being present in the moment. But one time, not a word of a lie, my husband Marcus came home from work. He'd been out all day. He told me afterwards he'd been in important meetings. I looked at him. He had 2 different shoes on. 2 different shoes, and he'd worn them all day. One was brown, one was black. Different styles. The shame, I know. But this very week, on Monday, I took my kids to their swimming lesson. It's a stress in itself. I've got 3 children. They're just going everywhere in the swimming thing. I'm like trying to get one changed. Success. Meanwhile, the little one was running around. For some reason, this isn't relevant. His trousers kept falling down, so he was just running around with his trousers around his ankles in the worktop swimming thing. One was changed. I go to get the next one changed. pull out a red swimming costume, red Adidas swimming costume, grab from the drawer, go to put it on. It was a gymnastics leotard. She said, Mom, that's a leotard. I can't wear that. Oh, Mom, no, no, no. So I was like feeling the material. I was like, I reckon this will be fine. You can wear this swimming. She was like, Mom, I am not going swimming. So Dad to the rescue had to come and collect her. She couldn't go swimming. And that's because I was distracted. When I packed the swimming stuff, I just grabbed the first red thing that I saw. That'll do, swimming costume. But it wasn't. Is everybody still here? Yeah. Because apparently the statistical odds are that some of you are not here because a Harvard study says that 47% of the time our mind isn't where our feet are. Our mind wanders to stupid things, to insignificant things, or it goes to worries about the past or the future. The average mobile phone user touches their phone 2,617 times a day. So we got antibacterial wipes available at the back if you would like to use them after the service, just to give that phone a clean. It's kind of gross. Extreme mobile phone users, the top 10%, touch their phone more than 5,400 times a day. And I'm kind of worried that might be me. But if you look on your phone, it will tell you the screen time, how much time you spent on the screen that day. But the thing it doesn't tell us that I think would be very interesting is how much of that screen time was whilst you were meant to be doing something else, whilst you were meant to be present in a conversation with someone else, whilst you were meant to be playing with your children, whilst you were meant to be on the school run, whilst you were meant to be in a meeting in the office. How much of that screen time was something you just did as a by the by, whilst you were meant to be present doing something else? Because Jesus gave his full attention, so he was able to notice a small man up a tree. He was able to stop for a blind beggar. He was present. He walked slowly enough to love people deeply, to have time on the journey, to be interrupted. How many of us are present enough to notice the person in the office who doesn't seem quite themselves, the other kid in class who's quietly crying, the family opposite on our street who don't seem to have winter coats and hats for their children? Or are we spending most of our days, weeks, lives here, but not really here, too rushed, too distracted, too preoccupied to notice? 3 things this morning that can stop us from living this fully present life that Jesus modeled for us. Number 1 is wishing it away. So many of us are tempted to just wish it away. Our littlest is 15 months old, and in the past 15 months, we have had 1 night of sleep that lasted for more than 5 hours. Yay. So sometimes, like this morning at 3:42 a.m, when I could hear all this clinking and clanging, and our child was over at his daddy's bedside table just playing with random objects, we start to wish away these years. With 3 kids under 8 in our house, it basically looks like Hamleys on speed. My husband hates mess. He's always tripping over toys. There's too many toys. There's too much stuff. There's no room to move without stepping on a Lego or sitting on paint or whatever it is. And it can be very easy to get home after work, after the school run, and just zone out in my mind, zone out on my phone, zone out in anything than being present in the chaos that is our family life. And we can start to wish away where we are right now. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we had a rare day off to ourselves. Our youngest was at the childminder, and we decided we're going to go to the cinema. We've not been for 4 years or something. So we're going to go to the cinema. We're going to watch Spider-Man. Obviously, his choice, not mine. So off we go. We get to the cinema. It's like the middle of the day on a normal work day, so there's not many people there. And the lady at the cinema said, you are allowed in, but just to let you know, it's a parent and baby showing, so even though you don't have a baby, I'll allow you to go in, but yeah, there's going to be babies crying in there. And we were like, oh my gosh, what? How could this happen? But anyway, it's fine. We enjoyed Spider-Man. I mean, Marcus enjoyed Spider-Man. And but sometimes we just imagine, when the kids are older, when we don't have so many toys and our front room could look like this instead of like this, and we could go on holiday or we could go to the cinema and there wouldn't be babies there. And so many of us are living our life like this, if when I've just moved house, or when I have a new job, when I graduate, when I'm married, then I'll be happy, then I'll feel fulfilled, then my life will be good once I've retired and I've got my time to myself. If I had kids if my family looked like that, like she's talking about, I'd be happy, I'd feel much better. But God doesn't want us to miss the moments we have right now, wishing them away, holding on for the next thing, so focused on the future that is to come. We can't enjoy our university course. We can't enjoy the home we live in now. We can't enjoy our kids being small. We can't enjoy the job that we have right now. Don't miss what you have now, pursuing what you want later. Be present in all of those moments. We can wish it away. The second thing is we can worry it away. We can worry our time away. If it's not the when-then game that I've just talked about, it's the what-if game that stops us being fully present. What if I don't get good enough exam results? What if I never get a job? What if I never lose weight? What if my kids never do well? What if they're not successful? What if they never leave home? What if I never have enough money? What if? And we are so consumed with worry over the future and what might happen, we miss out on all the joy in being present in today. We miss out on being fully present in the moments with our family because we're so busy worrying over what we need to do to provide for their future. The what-ifs of tomorrow start to make us miss the present moments of our today. Matthew 6:34, Jesus said, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Jesus didn't say don't plan for the future. Planning for the future is great. But he did say don't worry about it. Don't spend your time worrying about it. Be present in today. Live in the moment. Live for today. Make the most of today. We can wish our time away. We can worry our time away. And lastly, we can waste our time away. I think we might have a sand timer. I'm sure most of you have seen a sand timer. We're seeing it all too often at the moment in our kids want to play categories every single day. Yay. And it has a sand timer. But yeah, sand timer. And I don't know if one's going to come. Here we go. When you see a sand timer like that, the truth is that no one truly knows, other than Jesus, how much sand you have in the top of that thing. No one knows how long it's going to take for that sand to trickle through. But some things about a sand timer are certain. You can't change how much is in there. It's a closed off thing. We can't change how much sand is in the top. We can't alter it. You can't slow down or stop the sand. Once the sand hits the bottom, you can't get it back. In the book of James, verse 13, it says this, chapter 4:13. Today or tomorrow, come now you who say today or tomorrow, let's go into such and such a town and spend a year there, trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. This life on earth, this is the one we have. We don't know how much sand is in the timer. We can't slow down that sand. Every day passes. Once the sand hits the bottom, you can't get that day back. This life on earth is the one we have until we go to glory and be with Jesus. And you can waste it away not really being here. And the truth is, you can't be happy where you are not. You can't serve Jesus where you are not. You can't love people where you are not. So don't wish it away. Don't worry it away. Don't waste it away. Be present for the moments, not just the big moments, not just when you get to Jerusalem, but the moments along the way, the journey along the way, passing through Jericho. Their stories, whether you've been to church a lot of times or it's your first time here today, many of us will know a story like the story of Zacchaeus. But that wasn't Jesus' destination on that day. He was passing through, and yet he does these amazing miracles for these two men on the journey. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. I don't know what your day looks like, what your everyday looks like at the minute, how many of you are kind of wishing it away because there's something in the future that's right at the front of your mind and you really want to get there because you know that's going to make your life better. And I'm sure it will. But don't waste today wishing for tomorrow. Be present in the moments, not just the big stuff that you've set down, I'm looking forward to this, but the everyday, the supermarket shop, getting your hair cut, getting your car washed, going on the school run. Be present. Because the truth is, it's on the journey, it's in the everyday and in the small stuff that God is actually wanting to use us and work through our life and help us to make a difference in other people's lives. And sometimes I think there's two things that kind of stop us reaching that point. And number one is like our faith. We have a lack of faith that God wants to do anything through us, that anything good's going to come out of our life. And number two is that we're just a little bit self-absorbed and we think, not today. I know I do that. I think, oh my gosh, God, not today. I haven't got the time to speak with them today. Please don't put me with a supermarket checkout lady that's crying about something or said she's had a bad day because I might have to intervene. And, just yesterday I was with my little girl in town and there was a homeless lady, and I usually try to make a habit of speaking with homeless people because I want my kids to say about their mum made time for people. I don't want them to think that I'm just like kicking people to the can. And I was like, oh gosh, I ain't got time to talk to this lady. But anyway, we made the time and spoke with her. And I think things like that are really important for our life, that we're not so self-absorbed that we say, actually, this time is mine, God. I have that same temptation when we ever go on holiday, which is rare, but sometimes we do. And I can remember sitting back on the sun lounger and thinking, oh my gosh, it's good to be on holiday and we don't have to do anything for Jesus whilst we're like here. But then this woman like kept sitting near us every single breakfast and we ended up having to like talk to her and we were talking to her about God. And I was like, there's no rest from this work, but Jesus follows you on holiday. But Jesus sets us this example that he's never too self-absorbed. He's never too like, I'm actually having a crisis right now, guys, so I'm focused on what I'm doing. He is never like, so I've got so much going on, I'm going to drop the ball. He's able to handle it, even in his dying moments as Jesus hangs on the cross. He makes the time to be fully present with the criminal hanging next to him, to speak into his life and to say to him, today you'll be with me in paradise. Fully present, able to give undivided attention to someone else, even in the midst of his own suffering. Are you still here? Because here, in this moment right now, we're here together. Just look around, have a quick scan. Because in a minute, this moment will have gone. And the service will close and you might get a coffee and then you'll go home and go about your life. And this moment, exactly how it is now, will never happen again, the same again. Because we're here right now in this space and the living God is here right now with us and he's working in this place. And in our hearts and in our lives, he's working. And he wants us to choose today to be here today. To be present in our homes, in our marriages, in our families, in our workplaces, in our streets, in our neighborhoods. To be present enough to pray the prayer we've been saying each week and to see it come to pass. God, help me to walk slowly enough to experience Jesus fully and to love people deeply. This is the better way to walk. Don't miss what you have now, pursuing what you want later. Surrender the past that you can't change and trust God with a future that you can't control anyway. And if you just want to stand, if you're able to, as we finish this morning, we're going to pray together. God, we thank you that you're here and that we are here. Pray that you help us this week to walk the better way, to be less distracted, to make changes in our everyday that help us to focus and to be present, that we don't miss what we have now, pursuing what we want in the future, that we don't miss what we have now, worrying over things that we can't change, that we don't miss what we have now, wasting away the life that you have given to us, God. This is the day that you have made. And we pray, God, you help us to walk slowly enough to experience Jesus fully and to love people deeply. Amen.